Yo, what is going on, guys? It's Jack and welcome back to another video. So, have you guys ever heard that term, it'll get worse before it gets better? Well, I want to kind of change that up around, at least in theory a little bit, and kind of alter it a little bit to where it needs to get worse before it gets better. And, well, the inspiration behind today's topic of discussion when it comes to Call of Duty is kind of from a video that Maximilian Dude posted yesterday or the day before, talking about the possibility of the thing is, he was originally talking about how PlayStation is not going to be at E3 this year, and I know some of you guys that have already heard that news are wondering, is this going to have an effect on Call of Duty and all that kind of stuff? Let me first of all tell you that no, in case those of you guys that are wondering about that, it will not. It'll have a very minimal impact because, number one, as you guys know already, Call of Duty already has its own sort of events that it does for its reveals and all that kind of stuff, right? And number two, obviously they don't always show up at E3, and sometimes when they do, it's a big deal, and sometimes when they do, it's hardly a deal at all, so to speak. So, long story short, I wouldn't really worry if I were you. Call of Duty will continue to come out yearly, at least for the next, I don't know, until maybe at least till 2020. I don't know. I have this little feeling. This little teeny incy wincy feeling that maybe come 2020 things will change. I mean, we obviously know that Infinity Ward is going to be next with Modern Warfare 4. That's been rumored already, but I don't know. There might be some sort of big change coming. I don't know. I could just feel it. Have you guys ever had that? Sometimes when you feel something is coming, but you just don't know what exactly it is, or there's going to be a change coming. You know what I mean? But anyway, that's kind of in relation of what I wanted to talk about as well. And that is that, does Call of Duty need to die? Like, at this point right now, yes, we do know that Call of Duty continues to be the best-selling franchise on console as far as right now in terms of when it sells. It like breaks records time and time again. It hardly ever makes second place. I think it's only made second place once in like the last, I don't know, 8 years, give or take? I don't know. And I think the last time it lost to second place, I think it was to GTA 5, if memory serves correctly. So the thing is, the Call of Duty formula at this right now has been really, really repetitive, and some people like that, some people don't. Everybody's talking about how we need this or how we need that, myself included. We're talking about content creators, everybody from content creators to your basic casuals, and we also have that debate going on of whether or not Call of Duty is even casual anymore, and all the changes that are being implemented, the fact that Battle Royale is the next big thing now. And anyway, when you put everything into perspective, I'm starting to think that, well, maybe Call of Duty does need to die in order for it to be reborn again and to be made into something different and made again. I don't know. There's something that needs to happen. A change needs to happen, and maybe that change needs that maybe just Call of Duty needs to take a few years off so that way they can basically use that extra time or whatnot to make things happen. I've made all sorts of hypothetical videos talking about this. I've made everything from... actually, one of the first videos I ever made on this channel was Sledgehammer, Treyarch, and Infinity Ward working together to create the ultimate big Call of Duty title and everything that we've wanted. And now that I have a lot more communication with you guys and constant communication with you guys in the comments section, which is absolutely awesome, and I thank you again for that. The thing is that everybody has their own points of view, and I love it. And the thing is, you guys have been talking back to me as well, giving me your opinions and your thoughts. And the thing is, like one of you mentioned the other day in one of my videos, I was talking about the Call of Duty engine, how we need a new engine or to build it from scratch. Some of you educated me that the original Titanfall engine was not something that they created from scratch. It was ran out of something else. And I think one of you guys also mentioned that, what if one of the newer Call of Duties was running on the new Unreal Engine? And I thought to myself, wow, that would actually be pretty dope. So first of all, what are your guys' opinions on that? Can you imagine if Call of Duty ran on the Unreal Engine? For those of you guys that are a little bit more tech savvy than I am and have a further understanding than I do about all this tech stuff, let me know down in the comment section. Would that change a whole lot of things? You know, because the thing is, Call of Duty still needs to be Call of Duty in a sense. It's got to be a fast-paced first-person shooter. It's got to have the ADS mechanics and all that kind of stuff. But at the same time, it needs to have a little bit of higher quality in terms of all the things that we're getting in between. In other words, what I'm trying to say is, like, the consistency. The consistency needs to be more consistent, so to speak. For a AAA title that makes the amount of money that it does, Again, this game has been milked. The franchise and the people that play it and all that kind of stuff have been milked in all sorts of different ways. There's been a lot of rinse and repeat going on. For some reasons I can certainly understand, and for some reasons I certainly cannot, especially since Activision has all the money in the world that they can spend on this shit in order to make the best game possible, and in return they'll make even more money. Granted, it'll take a little bit longer, but obviously these guys have a deadline to meet. There's shareholders and all that sort of political bullshit that happens. So I mean, again, I don't know that much about it, but I do know that much at least, you know, because when they have shareholders to please, it's by law. They're required by law to make the most amount of money in the shortest amount of time, I guess, or within a certain period of time. So it is what it is. But I don't know if there's a contract between them and the shareholders or whatever the hell the deal is, or I don't know the ins and outs of that stuff. Maybe you guys do, and maybe you can tell me. But somehow, some way, I think this franchise needs, I don't even know if a reboot is the name is the proper term for it. In a sense, this game needs to basically be gone for a while, so that way we could just kind of reboot and hit the restart button on Call of Duty. And I don't necessarily mean rinse and repeat either, at least not entirely, because as I mentioned in my videos talking about how the Call of Duty engine needs a new engine, or maybe even a different engine, as one of you guys kind of put it in a different way. When that happens, all these little other things tend to change, but at the same time, it also leaves the door open for something new and something more, and maybe that's what we need. Let me tell you something. I think I can speak for every single Call of Duty fanatic here when I say that when the game plays really good and is really consistent, and it really feels good when the hit detection is good and you're getting hit markers on a guy, and when the game just feels like it's really good, which, again, we haven't really had that consistent feeling for quite a while now. Even though with Infinity Ward, we've been getting more of that, if anything. Infinity Ward is the most consistent, smooth Call of Duty, that version of Call of Duty that we'll get. Infinity Ward definitely nails it between the eyes in that department. But at the same time, we need something else to kind of accompany that. Because with a franchise like this, and with a franchise with a fan base like ours, and that have certain expectations, and with the amount of money that they make as well, they need to basically go above and beyond to basically bring this up to another level, and to make the game feel that much smoother and feel great. I mean, one of the things that made Call of Duty 4, COD 4, so popular, at least from videos that I've seen, as well as some things that I read about, is the fact that it was 60 frames per second, a smooth 60 frames per second first-person shooter on console, which was, at the time, unheard of for a console game. And they brought it to console, and that's what started it all. So back then, it was about the smooth 60 frames per console. But now, almost every single shooter is doing that, if not all shooters. And the thing is that right now, Call of Duty needs that something new in order for it to become as relevant as it was once back then. That's something new. And it's not the specialists. It's not trying to come up with new gameplay ideas per se, at least not completely. But it's about the base, the root of the game itself. And back then, during COD 4, when COD 4 was introduced, it was about that 60 frames per second, which set it apart. So we need to find what that other thing is. So let me know down in the comment section what you guys think and what your opinions are, and does Call of Duty need to die in order for it to come back alive again instead of being run down into the ground until there's nothing left? Let me know down in the comment section. Let me know what you guys think. Do you agree? Do you disagree? What are your thoughts? And please, as always, feel free to educate me on the tech side of things. And as always, if you enjoyed the video, let me know. And if you didn't, let me know what I can do to make my videos better. And I'll catch you guys on the next one.